friends, I'm so glad to have you back here at my channel, Rocky Mountain Gardens. And if you're new here, my name is Mary. Today, I would like to do 4 really fun thrift flips with you. And I really wanted to speak about thrifting and flipping items just for a brief moment with you because I do follow some really great flippers on YouTube. Like, really one of my favorites is Ginger Chick Rehab with Yvonne. She and her husband do some amazing flips. So if you haven't found her channel yet, take a look. But in the meantime, I am not a reseller. I don't have an antique booth or any of those kind of things. I mostly redo pieces from my own home, and sometimes I like to do them for my daughter. So because of that, I don't have a lot of equipment. I don't have a shop where I can do these projects. And that's okay. That's what I wanted to let you know, is that you don't need a ton of equipment to redo furniture in your home. You don't need a paint sprayer or any of those kind of tools, big table saw and things like that. Those are great, and I love watching people using them. But for myself, I don't have the money to buy all of that equipment, and I'm not reselling anyway, so it doesn't matter. I just pick up things that I can flip that are relatively easy projects, entailing painting, maybe some re-gluing or screws, to make a table more stable, things like that. So I just have a very few tools, power tools that is. I have a drill, I have a sander, which is really helpful, when you're sanding out scratches on a piece of furniture. And then lastly, I have a jigsaw that my Uncle Jack bought for me one time when he was here visiting. He said, "You need this." So it has come in handy a couple of times, but I also have just a regular old handsaw that I use at times. So guys, today, let's take a look at how I flipped 4 items, things that you can do in your own home with a paintbrush and some elbow grease cleaning, things like that. So I just want to encourage you that you can do this too. If you have some old pieces just lying around your home and you'd like them, but you'd like to see a change, maybe you're changing the colors in your decor, you can do it, guys. You really can. So let's go ahead and start with my first project. I found this little board that has strings going across with the small craft clothespins. And I brought it home because I thought my daughter might like it. It was just $3.99 at Goodwill. The first thing I plan to do with this is remove this cord that's on here and has detached. So I'm going to go in here and try to pry up this staple. So now I have gotten rid of this and pulled out the remaining piece of that staple so it doesn't get in my way, because I am going to use one of these sawtooth hangers on this piece in order to give it a good hanging apparatus. I want this piece to be able to hang nicely in my daughter's office. So we'll do some measuring and find the center. Next, we'll remove all of these clothespins. And first, we're going to paint the frame with this Waverly White chalk paint. Next, I'm going to paint this background a medium gray color, and this is just a paint that I have had for a while. Here's what it looks like, and we'll get this painted up pretty quickly. I just have to be a little careful not to get the gray paint on the strings that are across there, and I was a little bit of a messy painter in this job, so I had to do some touching up with my white chalk paint. And for these little clothespins, they came with some bling on them, which my daughter didn't care for. So look at this, it's just quite easily just pull them right off. They were actually on little sticker sort of strands, and it was quite easy to remove them. And then here we are in my daughter's office on a bookcase. I have this sitting there for her until she decides where to hang it. But I just posted a couple of things of memories from her and her children and a trip to Disneyland. So friends, I found this table. It's like a sofa table off Marketplace for $60. I bought it for my church to use in our lobby. You can see that it has some significant scratching going on here. So I'm going to do some sanding on the top particularly, and then we're going to paint it up. And sanding comes first. So I'm just taking a damp rag and wiping back all of the sawdust on this entire piece, including the legs, because that sawdust just seems to fly everywhere. Now here you can see I'm going to have to use some Gorilla wood glue to attach this leg properly. Honestly guys, I feel like I got a little bit cheated when I purchased this from Marketplace. This table was $60 like I mentioned, and this entire leg was cracked, and I didn't even notice it when I bought it. I wish I had, because I would have bargained for a little bit less of a price. But I think I'm going to be able to fix it with the glue. And then I am screwing in some additional screws to hopefully help that glue to bond well and make this leg very stable again, so we don't have a wobbly table. And here I am using my Sherwin-Williams paint first coat on the bottom side of this table. I like to start with the underneath part of any furniture that I'm working on, and then once I have completed a first coat all the way around, including the top, and I have to say, even with the first coat, that the finish came out very, very smooth for me. And of course, I did need to do a second coat on the entire table to have full coverage, and I think you'll like the way it looks. There it is, completely finished with a really cute knob that I got from Hobby Lobby to add just a little touch of color to this gray, sort of solid gray table. I think it's just going to look fantastic in our church lobby. I'm very excited to take it over there this week and have it all ready for Easter Sunday service. I got this box thrifting, and it has this slide-in compartment. I do think it was a wine box, but it's going to be perfect. It was $3.99 at the ARC, and I did get it for half price, so it was just $2. What I am planning to do is hang this on the wall. So I'm going to use another one of these sawtooth hangers. And we will measure this to get it in the center, and then hammer in these teeny tiny nails. Lastly, we're going to get around to using the very same mix of this Deco Art brown. It's called dark brown wax, and it has some of the ink mixed in to take away some of the redness and make it a little darker. So we're just going to apply it. I'm starting with the inside of the box and using my paintbrush to apply the wax. And after finishing the application, I will be using my lint-free shop towels. You can see them there on the left corner of my screen. They're great. You can buy them at Walmart. They don't cost a lot of money, and they are lint-free towels, so you don't wind up with any fuzz on your project. So here I am with it all finished and wiped back. And then I have hung it in my kitchen as another way to display my salt and pepper shakers. I'm so excited that I found this. I'm hoping I can find some more boxes similar to this that I can use for display. It's just the perfect size, don't you think? I'm in love with it. I found this really cute small chair. It's not a child's chair, but just a small sized chair at the Goodwill. Look at that nice detail up here on the back of the chair. And it cost me exactly $5.99. It was a great find, but it does have some problems. For example, it's very rocky and unstable, but we're going to take care of that, one of the first things. So I will give this chair a cleanup with a damp rag and some dish soap and get it ready for repair. The first problem I discovered on this chair is that this rung is not any longer being held in by glue. I'm going to take my Gorilla Wood glue. I'm going to place a large glob of it here in the hole. Just squirt it in there. Then I'm going to place the rung back in there. And guys, if you don't do a lot of woodwork and you don't want to buy a lot of tools, bungee cords are a good substitute for clamps. I'm going to take this bungee cord here and stretch it across, link it together, and this is going to offer me some good pressure here on this joint to make that glue really be tight in it, so this rung is not all wobbly again. You can take a damp rag and just wipe off the excess glue, which is a good idea to do around your joint. I even have some on the bungee cord. And then my bungee cord is going to hold that in place as the glue dries. Now, the second problem with this chair is that this piece is completely broken off its original spot where it is supposed to be attached right here. And so I'm going to glue that. I'm going to attach this small L bracket on the back side of this joint where it is not so visible. That will help to hold it in place while it's being glued, but it will also provide support in the future should anybody sit on this chair. This chair is really mostly a decorative chair, but you know, I don't want any of my guests falling if they happen to sit on the chair. So we're going to use our Gorilla Glue again, and I'm going to glob on quite a bit of glue here because there's no joint really in existence in that area. I have this part of the L bracket loosely connected, and I'm coming over to this side to screw it in here with my drill. Now for applying a coat of this dark wax mixture with a little of the ink by Waverly chalk paint. It's going to produce a very dark color, very dark ebony almost color with a brown tone as well underneath it. And I will be wiping it back to let some of the original stain on this chair show through a little to give it some depth, and it's definitely going to be looking very aged, very vintage. Well, my friends, this is my finished little decorative chair. You can see it is quite a dark brown. I wiped away with my shop towels some of the wax to reveal a little of the wood grain here, you can see. And also I wanted to highlight the design on the back of the chair. And in addition, my chair is no longer rocking. So I think it's safe to have in my home. Be sure to let me know which one of these 4 flips was your favorite today. And if you have any tips to share with me, I would love to hear them as well. Thank you so much for stopping by here at Rocky Mountains. And this is Mary saying bye for now.